Copyright 2017 WinYourBrand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by WinYourBrand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless WinYourBrand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Okay, so welcome today, and I want to just start with a couple of reviews for a couple of concepts, because we talk about the concept, but we never really speak about why people acting in this way. Okay, so what I want to talk about it today, it's a small concept I developed called Mindless Compliance. And the mindless compliance is equivalent to engagement. So if I have individuals who are engaged, they will do a mindless compliance.
So mindless compliance is equivalent to
Engagement.
engagement.
Yes, so my goal from engaging people is to have a mindless compliance. Okay?
Yep.
Does it make sense?
Well, I don't know yet.
Nope. But I got it.
Okay. So, remember the model when
Does that kind of mean that your decision's already been made, that you have an acceptance of moving forward?
Yes. So you are having an acceptance of moving forward or follow the instructions without engaging your mind to the process.
To analyze it too deeply.
If you analyze it too deeply, it will take you more time. So you will not sign right now, or you will not act right now. And I will share with you a few things. I will not share everything, but I will share with you a few things today.
Not everything.
Not everything.
Oh.
I can't, no, yeah.
I know. It's always holding back.
Yeah. So remember, we talked about you can have situations, you can have actions, you can have your own words here. And then after that, what will happen? People will receive some information from it, or will receive what they want to receive from the situation, from your action, from your words, right? So people will receive, audience will receive, then what will happen is they will have some perception, or they perceive a message or a value, and then they will repeat, and then they will retain. Okay? And the retention, there is another cycle, but I usually explain this cycle, and I always working out to convince you guys that whatever situation, whatever action happen, whatever words you have on the stage, it doesn't matter, because what people receive, it can be different. And you guys have been disagreeing with me, that's right? You said, like, there are so many people who say, no, people has to receive what I'm saying. And I'm saying, no, people don't receive what you are saying. People receive whatever they want us to receive. Because what people having under their control, something we call selective attention. And in this summary, I will not display for you videos, but there are so many videos about that. So, do you understand what selective attention is?
Yeah.
What's selective attention?
My wife says I have selective hearing. I only hear.
It's
the
exactly
things I
what
wanna hear.
someone right now is doing. He select to set up his electronic medias, right? So this is his selective attention. Nothing wrong about that. Somebody selected to drink tea now, or to do some whatever. Okay. So selective attention, I can drive it, or you can elect to do it. That's right. The common video you can find is somebody will give you a video about individuals who are passing polls, and they will tell you, okay, how many. I can share with you some of these videos, maybe in the break, and then count the number of ball passing among the white shirts, and then you will be seeing 6 players, 3 in black, 3 in white, and you will focus on the one who are whiting, because you are counting the passes. If you get 15 pass in this particular video, you are correct. However, there will be monkeys, there will be other people getting in and out, and you will not be able to see them. Okay? And I can pass. I shouldn't tell you the story, but I can pass the example. I can run some different examples, and you realize that you are selecting. How many of us, when you buy a new car, or you like the brand, and then whenever you drive, you see the same car?
Yes.
Yes.
How many of you, when you had a roof, because we had a roof exchange one time, and all what we have been seeing, in anywhere we go, are the roof's color,
Yeah.
because we were selecting roofs. That's right. So, when I say what people receive, what they want to receive, the psychologist behind it, or the theory behind it is, we have a selective attention. If I say, Michaela's bad, I don't like her, I don't want to talk to her, off, she's talking right now, I will sit like this, I will be sad, I will not open up for you. That's right?
Yes.
With all due respect to you, but just like
Yes.
like an example. So, it's your responsibility. If you stand, you drive this selective attention to what you are saying. And one of the techniques of doing that is when you tell stories with anchors, when you ask them, when you tell them up front, hey guys, I will share with you a story to show you how the hero became a hero, or how somebody was able to make money when he doesn't have money. So when we tell why we are saying a story, we are attempting to drive this selective attention to what are we saying. So this is one of the reasons I feel I have to be honest with you, and I have to be transparent to share with you what are the scientific reasoning behind whatever we do. I know many of you are not, they don't like science. However, if you understand this, it will make sense now. And I hope it will affirm you should be consistently using this. Okay? So, this is a selective attention. Then, why we say when you receive messages or something, you have your own perceptions on it? Because we have what we call it bias interpretation. We are biased to interpret what we see based on our belief systems, or what we select to do, or our experience, or our pain. So to overcome the what is the technique to overcome the bias interpretation?
What is the technique to overcome bias interpretation?
Yes. So I will not let you, because you have to be mindless compliant to what I say. I'm not talking about marionette, okay? I'm not talking about somebody. I'm not talking about hypnosis. I'm not talking about any of these things. I'm just saying, like, I would like to get you into mindless compliance to follow up on my offer.
Get them to agree.
Amazing. Amazing. So when I say yes or yes, when I say agree, raise your hand if you agree. I'm driving with the request for their compliance to my interpretation, to what? To bias their interpretation towards what I would like to do.
Yeah.
Okay? Does it make sense?
Yep.
Now, the problem with the repeat, it's uncontrolled. Oh my God, I forgot it. It's uncontrolled surroundings. So how will you repeat first what you perceive? By talking to somebody beside you, by looking up on the internet, by have your own self-talk. Remember, these are made over time. So in standard life, you will have the coffee, you will ask for the coffee, you will get the coffee, the waitress will give you the coffee, you like her or you don't like her, or you don't come again to the restaurant because you felt the restaurant was not good. That's right. And then you ask your friend, did you go guys to this new restaurant? The guys will say, no, it's bad. Did you see the bugs over there? You know, Sally went there and she had a tummy ache, and this guy had a diarrhea. That's right. So all what you retain about the restaurant is bad restaurants, right? So, so we are doing the same thing in one presentation in 10 minutes, but before we start here, we have to understand this is happening over time. So when I repeat, I have my uncontrolled surrounding. And as funny as if you think about what the uncontrolled surrounding includes today, it includes Google, it includes the internet, it includes Claude, it includes Mariana, it includes Michaela, it includes Mike, it includes even Shamir and Marcel and people who are not here. Because you can call him and say, oh, I heard you are not coming. Why? Say, oh, he's boring. So if he says that I'm boring, what you will get? You'll get an idea, right?
Yeah.
So uncontrolled surrounding, what makes us having our self-talk, what makes us having our own communication with our good friends, with our enemies, with our people, what makes us goes to our internet, to whatever reference we have, to be able to repeat the thoughts and the feelings in our brain. Okay? Does it make sense?
You said the communication with others
is one form of the uncontrolled surrounding.
Okay. Yes.
You know when ladies get together, you know, what do you think about this? What is it? This kind of
Or would you call it also distractions?
is not at this stage. It could be a distraction if you focus only on the self-talk. So if I'm standing here and saying, oh, you should buy this, you should buy this, you say, oh, and in your mind you say, oh, you know what? I know Jenny bought it and didn't work for her. I know Tim was trying something similar, which is completely different but similar, and it did not work for him. I heard Mike complained about something similar. Do I really want to buy it or not? This all kind of going in your brain. This is our uncontrolled surrounding for me to control, and for you as well, because you don't know who popping in your life at this particular moment before making a decision, who is driving you to decide. Do you get it? You also don't know who's coming here right now to give you an input so you can repeat. So the repeat cycle is serious. It can drive people nuts because it can be very confusing for them. If you had different opinions, what you will say, what you will do, you'll get overwhelmed and confused. So how do we control? Do you have any question on the definition of uncontrolled surrounding?
Not right now.
Okay, so how do we
I'm trying to control the...
So how do we control the surrounding of our audience? To push them to do mindless compliance.
maintain their attention on what you're giving.
But maintain their attention is a selective attention control. Attention and attention. So how do we control, how we can get the uncontrolled surrounding controlled?
Well, give them actions, or one, get them to agree, and
Get them to agree is a biased interpretation.
okay.
So what is the uncontrolled surrounding?
Get them to participate.
Participate is also selective attention and biased interpretation.
So
When you give them testimonials and other people surrounding them experience, this is where you are influencing the uncontrolled surrounding. When you give them websites to look at, when you give them a checklist, when you give them follow-up, when you give them your personal story, you want to captive them inside a specific surrounding so you can have control on it. So this is, in my understanding, the rationale of having
Controlling surrounding.
testimonials to control the surrounding.
The surrounding of their own minds, where it goes while you're...
So, for example, if I'm selling change management courses and I don't want them to go to Google to search me out, so I will point them out to references, that's right. I will point them out to testimonials of people they do know. So I'm influencing the uncontrolled surrounding. Make sense?
It does now.
What is the problem with the last one, which is, we call it retention?
Coming.
So retention is related to biased memory.
What?
Bias memory.
Memory. So we always select what do we retain. Okay? So what is biased memory? How can I influence their biased memory?
Give them something to remember. Like she said this morning, this shirt speaks. You'll remember my shirt, but they may not remember what I say.
So what?
Maybe.
How
I
can
don't
you?
know.
How can you? That's right. How you can in a presentation give them or control their biased memory?
Speak to their story. Sorry, Mariana. Go ahead.
By keep sending them information.
Sending information is a follow-up technique to convert their biased memory later on, but inside the presentation itself. How you can control their biased memory?
Well, is this when we're going to the quadrants and we're touching on each one, so we ensure that we
Not really.
stick to?
How can I influence somebody biased memory? By allowing them to take notes, by forcing them to take notes.
Oh,
Because taking notes and writing messages, it shows a form of compliance. And in the science of persuasion, which is, I will touch a little bit on it to summarize what we have been doing for the last 3 sessions. It's a form. Giving them a book to read, giving them a giveaway to walk out with. Okay? So, do you agree now that your situations, your actions, and your words does not relate to what people can retain about you if you don't do it carefully?
I do. I attended a landmark training at one time several years ago, and the first thing they said is, nobody will be taking notes. Well, it turned me right off. The first thing they said, I could not take notes. I'm a note taker. And whoa, that had a huge impact.
Let
on
me share with you a story on notes taking, okay?
On not taking notes?
On taking notes,
Yeah.
on forcing you. So,
Oh, forcing me to take notes.
force people to take notes.
Here's a book and here's a pencil. Please take notes.
And this is exactly what should happen to you. When you go to a physician or a clinic, the studies showed that if you ask the patient to write the next appointment date and time, there are 18% more show up for the following sessions. Because what is the biggest challenge for people to having following session?
Remember.
To show.
Yeah, sure.
That's right, to show up. So they did studies and they found out that if you hand them the appointment card with a pen beside them and say, okay, would you write your appointment Wednesday, whatever time, 4 o'clock, or Wednesday, 1 o'clock. The studies demonstrate over 1 year that they have 18% more show up for the follow-up appointment, and it was not going to be cancelled.
So how about asking them to put it right in their agenda? Like
It's another alternative. It's another alternative.
Same thing?
It's another alternative.
Okay.
And one thing, if we understand the persuasion pillars, one thing called compliance. If you want to persuade somebody to do something in the future, they have to comply. And the technique to comply is to ask them to write down what they will do. So if you are doing coaching and training and whatever you are doing, I developed a tool for meetings. I'm not sure, maybe not all of you have this tool. Practice against them. This is how I call it, okay? So when you come to any meetings on one-on-one, I have for you goals. I have for you an agenda to set up the agenda for the meeting. And there is a special section, which is to do actions. Okay? So when people write the actions, this is a form of compliance. What's amazed me is different individuals will come with their own notes. And they will write the actions inside their notes. And themselves, they say, oh, hold on. I have to copy this here to the to-do list. So when you get somebody you are coaching or training and ask them to write down the steps they will do, you are not only influencing their biased memory, you are also getting from them a commitment, a compliance. to what you do. Okay, does this make sense?
Yep.
Now, what can happen? What will happen after retention? After retention, what people will do, which is very interesting, people will have thoughts and feelings.
Have what?
Thoughts and feelings.
Thoughts and feelings.
And what the thoughts and feelings will drive them to do? What they will drive?
Remember.
It will drive their emotions and behaviors. So when you have thoughts and feelings, it drives your emotion and behavior. Okay? So I have some thoughts. Mariana is a threat to me. I'm scared. That's right. I have some thoughts that Shamir is aggressive against me. I'm scared. That's right. Or I'm panicking now. That's right. Now, when I have feelings driving my emotions, then what I will do? What's the next? What the next things will be is I will take actions. And the actions will drive results for me.
Will what?
The action will
Oh, yeah.
drive results. So I have action and results.
Results.
That's right. And from my action and results, I will go to have a different set of feelings. And people will iterate in this cycle. This cycle can be triggered easily by what they retain from your presentation. Now, what is the goal of your presentation? Is for people to take action to sign up for your program, that's right? So to reach from here to here and pass through what the mindless compliance means, on the average, this is the minimum story. This is the minimum steps has to happen. Okay? So when we ask people not to go home and sign up, we are cutting these stages. We are shortcut to this stage. You sign up by the end of the day only. That's right. You're trying to reduce the time they spend here. Does it make sense?
Say that again.
Okay. If you understand now, or you agree that for your situations, which is your presentation, your boardroom, your actions, your words, whatever you do, the goal is to drive actions and results, so people can sign up for the next stage. What I'm saying is, the model I'm putting together in collaboration with other models in the psychology and human behavior is, no matter what you do here, people will receive whatever they like to receive because of their selective attention. Then they will perceive value, whatever they like to perceive, because of their biased interpretation. They will repeat within an uncontrolled surrounding, and they will retain based on their biased memory. Whatever they retained, it will drive their feelings and thoughts. So feelings and thoughts are driven by their retention, which will give them emotions, and the emotions driving with behaviors, it will drive them to take action and sign up for your program. So how I can influence these stages? And by the way, this will be, it can keep going and going all the time. So people can stay in these cycles. when they close their eyes and they don't talk to you, they don't listen to you anymore, and they're just sitting on their own thinking about it. This is what's going in their mind. So how you can influence these cycles? We said in summary, for selective attention, we have to find hooks. We have to grab their attentions. For their bias interpretation, what we do? We ask for their agreement. For their acceptance, we say yes or accept, or do you agree, or knocking your head, all of these techniques. How we deal with their uncontrolled surrounding? What was the trick? Testimonials is one of them. Checklist, follow-up are later on, but direct to the website are later on, but testimonials are a good example of how we can do their uncontrolled surrounding. And what they retain is their biased memory. So how we can control their biased memory? By asking them to take notes. Okay? One other approach for selective attention is to ask them to shut down their phones. So you don't get to the uncontrolled memory, and you don't get uncontrolled surrounding, and you don't get divided attention. Okay? I'm not sure how many of you was me here, and we had like 3 hours or 2 hours sessions, and they didn't feel till the end of the 2 hours.
They didn't?
They didn't feel anything till the 2 hours came in. They said like 2 hours already passed by. That's right. I made it one time from 9 o'clock till noon, till lunchtime, and it was like torture. But it was a challenge was between me and my partner, that how you can control this environment very well. Okay, so if you understand these 4 stages, figure out ways to control it. One way to control is to push individuals from receiving to feeling and thoughts by shortcutting the receiving, the perception, the repeat, the retention level. One technique is what? You sign up right now. You sign up right now. You are trying to overcome this because you give them all the components required. Any questions? Mike, any questions? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just thinking of the way I relate to my own process. But I still have a couple obstacles. Like if I have had a couple come to see me, they really like what I had to offer, but all of a sudden we like to go away and think about it. And I'm thinking, okay, was there something that I didn't do to help them cross that line, or was it a money thing and I didn't want to proceed?
It's excellent. It's excellent situation. So if somebody, to summarize the situation and just connect with me, let me know if this is correct or wrong. If I do have people comes to me and they like what they see, that you see everything, and say, okay, we want to take our time to think about it and come back. How can you overcome and get them to do mindless compliance without losing them? One approach is, any ideas first before any ideas in the room?
Tell them to write down the top 3 things that they need to think about, or something like that, so you know what is top of their mind as a resistance to signing up today. Maybe it's money, or I don't know.
So getting them to write down is there is an issue here, because you start to build here another cycle. You start to build here another cycle, because for me to write down, if I am ready to sign, if I want to write down, it will evoke the emotion and thoughts, what they need to write. You are looking them to iterate here.
And we don't want that.
You don't want that.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
Give them if you sign up right now, give them a bonus, and then if it doesn't look, give them 3 days to cancel.
So inside your program, you must have a way to let people to sign up right now and walk away with amount of material for them to read more and do their homework, which most likely they will not do because they are busy, and give them 3 days or 10 days or some grasp period. So you say, that's great, you know what, you want to think about this, great, but what I can tell you is, would you like to sign? Let's sign right now, so you can take all this material with you, so you can start to look at information which make you informative decisions about the engagement. Because people who don't want to sign will be which quadrant? Most likely. They need to think about it more. So they are which part of the quadrant?
Process?
The process people, that's right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how to feed the process people? By providing them more information.
Yeah.
So you must have information in your folder, which is a customer marketing material given to customers, but this information is for only people who sign up. So you say one technique, this is one technique, one of the many techniques. Here you can sign up. Right now, there is no obligation whatsoever for the next 3 months or the next 3 days or the next month based on your program. And you basically tell me. And if you sign up right now, when you sign up right now, you will take all of this information about our process. So you don't need to remember anything from the discussion. You can basically go through it and make a decision for yourself and compare it to other people in the room, to my competitor. This is one approach.
Would you take the credit card information there when you sign up?
Yes. But in his situation is different because his situation is one-on-one service. That's right. Because what will happen when people walk out from the office? By the way, this particular part, it's cycle. So people will go from here to here at their leisure. So when they go and they want to talk about it, they will evaluate what they received. Oh, you know what? I didn't like his tie. I know you don't have tie, but I didn't like his tie. Oh, you know, his office was too big. That's why he charged people lots of money. So imagine somebody will come to a small office. Oh, his office is too small. It means that's lobby, bookkeeping, accounting services because they don't afford even having a bigger office. And when you invite them to a bigger office, oh, you know what? This is a very big office, luxurious. It means they overcharge their clients. So, you know the situation then. I recommend if you have one of this extreme, you basically articulate it inside your meeting. Oh, and now we have this big office because we pay regular rent, but the owner actually have the space, cannot find it, and we fill the space. So that's why they let us use the big office. So I will control their selective attention over rejections. So if you get them to do this.
So I think analyzing my meeting, everything was going good. They were ready to move forward, but I was like $400 more than their previous accountant, and I was like a showstopper. It's like, well, we need to think about it. It's a little more than we're used to paying.
So if this is a rejection, you can drive it back to the sales and the closing deal scripts and say, compared to last. So can you evaluate the differences of the service? You are here investing because I will save you more money.
I did that.
And if you want to think about it, here is the material which will explain what we do. You can sign up here. You can walk away with the material because this material is only limited for our clients, and the material has to write client only and confidential only and all kind of whistles on it to make sure that people will see this and say, oh, this is for your customers. So I have to be a customer first. When we sell online, is much easier because when you sell online, you have a trial username and password. That's right. So when you have a trial username and password, what will happen? People need to sign up first to have the trial period. That's right. I did a study with some of my contact, and we found out that maybe less than half of your customers will keep watching your videos within 3 to 4 months from they sign up in an annual event, in an annual program. People will stop watching videos after 3 to 4 months if they sign up for an annual. Usually within the first 2 weeks, you have the traffic, and then the traffic will go away because they either see what they see or they move with their own life because they always have this uncontrolled surrounding. One good example for the uncontrolled surrounding is when you have problems or issues with your kids at school. What will happen? You'll find people are in Calgary, their kids are in Montreal. I'm not giving specific examples. The people in Montreal have interesting situations there and they want to take care of them. So they'll be doing their life in Calgary, and suddenly, where are you guys? Oh no, we are in Montreal for 1 week for our kid. We are in Arizona for our parent. So the uncontrolled surrounding can pull people away, and what they retain at the time? Zero. So retaining zero value from your offer, it can be by the uncontrolled surrounding. When I model it in this way, it makes sense to me why I do what I do, why I need to have testimonials, because I want to drive influence over the uncontrolled surrounding. I need to have a website. Why? Because part of the uncontrolled surrounding is what? Exposure now to the internet. I need to have billboard around the area where I sell houses. Why? As a realtor. Why? Why you pick up an area and you have all this, bus stop seats? Why they do have this bus stop seats? Will people riding the bus a candidate to sell or buy houses? Most likely not. Okay, because who on the average will ride a bus? Somebody is renting in the area, somebody cannot afford a car and the expenses of a car, and justify it as, oh, I don't feel like driving. Okay, so why do they have signs on the bus stands?
For the car.
They wanna drive the uncontrolled surrounding. So when you drive around and you see their names, they are part of the uncontrolled surrounding. They are part of the uncontrolled surrounding. If you serve individuals are 67 years old plus, their uncontrolled surrounding does not include the internet much. It includes something else. If you serve individuals online like 35 years and younger or 40 years and younger, all of them are lives where right now? Over the internet. So you need to have a stronger presence everywhere. So, any questions?
What's the word under emotion on the left side there? Behavior?
It's emotions and behaviors.
Yeah.
So
emotion drives behavior.
no, it's feeling and thoughts will drive emotions and behaviors. So people can be sad, can be restless, can be whatever, can have anxiety based on their feelings and thoughts. In the standard psychology, they call it thoughts. I don't believe in thoughts only, because I believe that we are head, heart, feet, personalities, and we have two of these all the time. So we are either brain working with logic, or heart working with feeling, or steps working with feet working with steps. So I believe that majority of us have at least two of these three criteria. So that's why if you are steps and process, and you merge it with heart, or steps and process you merge it with thoughts and logic. So that's why I like to call it thoughts and feelings. Okay? Some people say no, feelings will invoke thoughts. I said okay, no, but when I poke you, you'll take your hand away without having thoughts. Okay, so I don't know. That's why I like it to be like thoughts and feelings. So if you, and in my understanding, if you feel negative about being here, you will walk away without thinking about what value you have from being here. So this is why I like to have it 2 and 2. Because 3 things is easy to remember. Any questions?
Saw S speech, what you're saying?
Situations, actions,
and
words. This is the simplest way to summarize what's happening, what you do, so you create a situation for them, you create a venue for them, you create for them a talk, you create for them a phone call. These all are situations. You put your audience into a situation. And what you want to do from this situation, you want to achieve what we call it mindless compliance. They have to comply with what you do. And in compliance perspective, one of them called authority. So authoritative persuasion means I need to show my authority. interesting study was made on physiotherapists. They found out that when a physiotherapy will post her degree or some kind of certificate over the wall, more of her clients will comply to the routine she will provide. And when they did this analysis between different rooms, they found out that they need to add certificates on every single room. Now, we have lots of massage therapists and physicians, not physicians, but physiotherapists, massage therapists, acupuncturists, whoever it is, who will go to different set of clinics, and they don't put this. And if you have a discussion with them and say, what is the most pain in your job? She will tell you, I will treat the patient and I will ask them to do specific routines. And they will come back without doing a single thing. Routines like, can you do like 3 movement a day? Can you do a few things, right? So if these individuals will just go there before the clinic and put their actual degrees on the wall or some sort of degrees on the wall, and the patient will come and sit, they will understand this is an authority. And the next level of this studies was made is they put a framed diploma with the wrong name on it, and nobody really cares. And so this is why if you are looking for mindless compliance, there is always another layer, and that is why inside who are you in your personal story, you should have photos or you should have images. If you've been on stages, you put these images. It's the same concept. If when people be in the room exposed to photos of your authority, it will make it different. Agree? Make sense?
So what's the roadway next to the situation action words?
There is nothing, no relationship.
This is
There is an isolation between the situation words awareness with what people receive. There is a gap.
there's a void, a gap.
There is a void. There is a gap.
It's transformer.
It's a transformer. It's a good analogy to have a transformer, because sometimes people will come to me and say, "Oh, you know what? I told them that they did not sign. They don't know." Oh, hold on. It's not what you say.
I'm gonna say he's wound too tight.
Is how you said it. Is not what you say. Is how you say it. And to share this and to keep it glued to your brain as well, I will share with you a very interesting analysis have been made. So what they found is everybody of us will go eat in the restaurants, right? So they did a study of how you can get more tips from the client. Who here likes to pay tips? Who here will pay tips? What are your factors of paying tips?
Service.
And how you can value the service? Like, what's your parameter?
If they go an extra mile.
You see, if they go to an extra mile. So they did a study, and this study we use it in what we call it you give, you get, which is one way of persuading people as well to do mindless compliance. If I give you, I will get from you. So what they studied is the following. They said, okay, let's just introduce mint at the end of the meal. So each one of the servant will come with a check, and she will give you one piece of mint. They found out there is an increase of 3% in the average tips.
Mint chocolate goes up.
You know? Then the next step is they gave out 2 mints. They found out 14% increase in the tips.
How much percent?
14% increase. So what's the next step to be?
Boston Pizza does that, gives you 2 minutes.
Chocolate mints.
What's the next step will be? Will it be 3 mints? Or what?
Chocolate, I think, hey?
Yeah, that's
Mint chocolate.
so we
Next
get-
step is 10 minutes.
So what they did is they said instead of giving 2 mint, they train the staff to give 1 mint with the check. walk away for 2 steps, and then come back and give the second mint. They observe 23% increase in tips. So what is the understanding from this story?
People tip because of the attention they receive from a second mint.
No, I think people are stupid.
Because the
It's
problem,
automatic
the point
compliance.
is not what you give. The point is how you give it. So when I give you 1 mint, I will understand that everybody will understand that the store's policy is to give 1 mint. When I will take 2 steps and I come back and give you the second mint is coming from who?
The person itself, the server.
Who exactly paid the money for the whole mint package? Is the store owner. That's right. I didn't pay for it. However, these studies, it's very valuable to understand how this can impact what we do. Okay? So
How many percent was 1 mint?
1 mint was 3%
3%.
increase. The second one, this was in Atlanta, Georgia, so I don't know what the rate of
And
tipping.
2 minutes is 14%.
14%. And the way of going away and coming back, it shows it. So I laugh when I go in restaurants, and by the time you walk in, what you will find? You'll find this big bowl of what?
Mints.
Mints
Of
at
mints.
the door.
At the
You
door.
can take a handful.
This is what I do all the time. Like all my pockets, all my jacket, because we like the guava one in particular. There is a guava one in the Chinese mint.
yeah.
I love it. We love the flavor of the guava. So when you have this mint out there, abandoned like this, whatever they put on my table, I will actually feel it an insult because I can go on my way out.
Yeah.
I feel you are capping my level of getting more mint because you give me 1 or 2 here. We don't care about this one because there are plenty over there. So if they hide, if they remove from their decoration this ball of mint, their tips will increase by about 10 to 15% based on what I did for some restaurants in Calgary. Just take it away. Make it an empty bowl. Put something else in it.
Something else.
Make it an empty, or remove it, or if it's one of the structure, just remove what's in it and put flowers. Because when I come in and I see the mint right here, and the problem we've seen is the owners themselves are stubborn and they have their own ego, their owner and managers, and don't understand. They want to say, oh, people have to be welcome because in our culture we have to offer them something. Okay, you are offering them food. So just a little switch of removing this will drive more tips. And the minute you have more tips for your employees, what will happen? They will be happier.
They'll come back and come back.
They will work, and the employees will work, and they work for you. And they will be more eager to help the customers better, because one of the problems we ran into when we had more than 3 employees for us is the quality of service. Because we will be working, we have these other 2-3 people working for us, and we don't know what they do. So if you are running a restaurant or you are running a service where you have individuals working for you and there is a tips provision there, because not all service have, like Mike, for example, in his service there is no tip, right? They don't tip his accountant. Why you don't tip the accountant, my friend?
They're already paying $40 more
Yeah.
for
So-
these guys, you know?
Because they give it to CRA instead.
$740 for like half an hour, that's not enough of a tip. To
So,
me, that's enough of a
the
tip.
point I want you to retain right now is, if you have a business and the business will have individuals and there is a tip there are ways to increase the tips. And the minute you increase the tips, these individuals will work harder to satisfy the one who paying the tips. And this one who is paying the tips are who? Are your customers. So you unconsciously are pushing your business by increasing the tips coming to these people. And all what the business owner need to do is to remove this bowl which has the mint at the entrance. Okay? And you know what? To convince this guy, he's like you guys, he's very stubborn as well. I said, you know what?
Like us.
Can you do it for me for 1 day? He was so against. I said, so next time I went in, I spent like 4 hours together. I took the actual bowl with me and I sat with him inside. And this was the lunch hour. It's a kind of open buffet, open concept things. And then he said, by the time at the end of the meeting, I said, hold on. Can you go check on your point of sale the rate of the tips? So he came, there is about 7 to 8% average tips per bill. I said, what was it last time? Or what was it last week? Last time, a month ago, he has numbers. It was like 5% and he has to put more. I said, yeah, you see, there are 2 to 3. Can you believe this one right now is 2 to 3%? Because these are regular customers, so they know that they expected, but they did not say it. So he looked at me and said, like, doesn't make sense. And then 2-3 weeks later, I went there and I found he removed it completely because he started to work on it and he started to get 10 to 15% more tips per check.
Better to pay attention.
Because now people will admire having these particular things. Yes, ma'am.
Question. So at a trade show, candy bowl or something, and I know I personally I want that candy, but I maybe don't really want to engage with every person at every table. So I'm not going to go get the candy. So I hold the bowl. So if it's me, my table, I hold the bowl. I hand it out myself. Can you give me an idea?
I'm explaining a study made on businesses where you are subject to receive more tips.
I know, but doesn't this make sense? That because even on the weekend,
the candy is different.
One of the girls had a bowl of candies.
Yeah, the candy. Okay. You understand the tips example?
I do.
Okay. No. Now, sorry. No. Now.
So now I want to
now. Okay. The candy. The candy on the table in a show, and the giveaways are made for different reasons. Because there is a reason for engagement and persuasion called I give, I get. So if I give you a treat, you will feel obligated to pay me back. One good example to start with is the Amway selling style. Have you anybody here worked for Amway before?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Amway? Yeah.
Yeah. So Amway or Amway, whatever you want to call it. What you do in the book for
They have
them.
a different name now, anyway.
What you do, how you attract customers. Do you know how? Yeah.
How you attract customers? You promote the business to them.
How? What you do for new prospects?
Give samples.
Yes.
Give samples, yeah.
They give a kit of all the product samples, not only what they do here, because here they don't understand. So if you go to like the Indian operations or the Singaporean operation, what they do is they give a full kit. You have like 10, 12 bottles of whatever it is.
Soap.
Okay?
Shampoo?
And then after 1 week, the representative will come and pick up the sample and take it to the one next to you, because we don't often we don't abuse and use the full bottle of 3 things. And then a week later they will come to you and say, would you like to buy more? You'll say yes, because customers will feel guilty or clients will feel guilty that they use the sample. So this is a way for persuasions, by giving out and then getting back. Okay? So when I have this candy, or I have this token, or I have these toys, or I have these giveaways on my table, this is the whole concept. Is I'm giving you a treat first. So you allow to give me your undivided attention to show you what I want to show you, or have a discussion of what I want to show you. So having candy in shows are driven by that. Having chocolate while you are in a green event is ridiculous. Okay, because you have to have candy and material which is really attractive for people to feel gifted. Not like everybody. We are in scenarios where everybody, we are a copycat from each one. So people will say, oh, this guy has candy, so let's go pick up candy. Why you want to pick up candy? Because these guys have candy. It doesn't work like that. You need to understand first why these guys have candy. In the candy business, when you have a customizable cover of the candy, you make it more special. So why do you need to have your name on your water bottles? Why do you need the name of the business on the candy? To make it special. So Claude Candy, which is kisses, a small kisses or whatever candy he got from Hershey's, and your candy Michaela, which has Michaela name on it, your candy might be cheaper than his candy, taste awful than his candy, but your candy will be regarded at a higher quality of demand, or in a higher, it's a desired candy because it's what?
Your name is on it.
It's a special. Nobody tested, but his candy we can buy it from the store. And this has been done to persuade people to actually relabel the candy and the relabel the giveaway. Sorry, Claude, is not. I didn't mean.
Well,
I would appreciate the candy you have anyway.
I use those Hershey's, put them in a little bag with my name on it.
Yes, and if you want to put it like this, you have to make it mysterious gift.
Yeah,
So the bag should not show what's inside.
that's right. A little
So-
nice little bow.
Did you get why you need to have candies in your situation in the show? I do lots of trade show training as well.
Yes, although I'm turned off by the idea of making people feel guilty. I don't want to make them feel guilty.
Well,
I
how do
wanna
you know
make
they
them
feel guilty?
Well, he just said that
You
it's
appeal
like
to their sweet
it's
tooth.
appealing to their guilt.
In the
factor.
communities you
Then-
came from,
then I have to talk
in
to you.
in the communities you came from, they are more feelers. So the feelers, when they get, they will have a higher appreciation. The logic people or the mind people, to have a higher appreciation, you must be on a higher IQ than them. You have to appear that you are more intelligent than them to listen to you. But the feelers, you have to appear you are more willing to give. And if you are more willing to give, and they see the value of what you offer, and they see that you are willing to help them out, they will happen what we call it appreciation. And if appreciation happen, people will be persuaded by signing up for your program because they have an appreciation. Appreciation, there's 3 grounds. You are like them, you are showing you can work with them on their problems, and you are opening up by giving these free gifts. Let me share with you another interesting things I was reading last week. How many of you will get a coupon book or a coupons for different products? And how many of you will buy with these coupons?
Yeah.
Why do you buy from it?
Because it's you save money.
Okay,
I support.
spend more
It supports the fundraiser.
Save
support the
money.
fundraiser, save money. Okay, the number one reason for people to buy from coupon and from coupon books is convenient, and you help them out to make decisions. That's it. So a study happened by mistake. Someone was writing coupon books, and instead of putting the discounted price, they put a different set of prices, which is quite a little bit higher than the discounted price. Because the price, instead of going 20, 30% discount, they went to 105. They increased the price by 5%. And when they sent these coupons out, they found out that the rate for responding for the coupon is still the same. It did not decline. So when they start to analyze why people are using the coupons, it's still, although it's more expensive than walking inside the store because a ridiculous mistake happened, nobody can figure it out till sometime later. They found out the reason. That's the reason for us to use coupon books on coupon, is because we have a decision made for us, helping us making decisions. So we have a mindless compliance to the content of the coupon without considering other alternatives. So if you have a pizza store and you have all of this pizza like margherita and Mediterranean and all these pizza combinations, this coupon is to work to help you out to select which pizza you like. It's not about the price. There are some combinations sometimes are more money than if you get the 4 ingredients and put them on the pizza itself. Especially with deep pizza, if you do the math, sometimes it's more expensive to get the combination then you tell him, put me these 4 ingredients.
Way more expensive, actually.
I didn't know why. Because when I put the individual ingredients, why the combination of them is more money than the individual ingredients. There are some flyers like that. I used to have them. I used to have images of these coupons and flyers.
So what industry?
So sometime you go and buy cereal boxes. There is a 450 gram, and there are 680 gram. Okay, so, and this is a exact example which we had in the store all the time. So they sell the 680 gram of cereal roughly at $688. Okay, and this is or $644, I think. I think it's $644. This is actually in Walmart and Superstore. That's right. So how much is the kilogram here, roughly? So 1 kilogram would be how much?
What do you mean?
Like if I sell 680 gram
Yeah,
or 685 gram for $640 or $680.
just under $1.
It's about $1, that's right? Just about $1. About $10, that's right? 1 kilogram is about $10. 680 gram of cereal,
Well, that's just under
which is frosted flake,
$6.
it's $644 on the discounted in the regular price, and they sell this for it's roughly $10 a kilogram. And then they have another package which is 460 gram, I believe, or 455 gram, and they put this one at $520 discounted. They say this coming from $6 to $520.
Yeah, doesn't work.
Okay.
So you pay more than that.
And they have here the price, and they have the new price. So which one will you buy? Will you buy the 680 for 644, or people will buy 460 gram for 520?
They're likely going to buy the cheaper one.
Yeah, they think it's the cheaper, but I'll buy the 680. I always divide.
Okay, so before we go to the answer the question, do you understand the example now?
Yeah.
So we have 2 bags, big bag, smaller pack. The regular price, which is undiscounted price, it's $644 on the label, and the label is just the blue label of the store. And here you have the red label of the store, which shows a discount of 640 gram to 520 from this will be like usually 599 or something like that. Okay, so the question is, which one most likely to sell more?
Well, the red tag is likely.
The red tag, because when people go here, people will feel what?
They're getting a deal.
They are getting a deal, and they will feel this is a special, so they will buy more. There is a likelihood of selling 42% more of this product over this product.
And yet it's more expensive in the end.
It's more expensive when you go to the 1 kilogram unit. It always happen in spices. If you look at the spices back, how many of us here will need 600 spices? And also it happened in the fresh food bulk.
Fresh food bulk.
Like if you go buy like
Raisins,
potato,
nuts.
raisin, like
Wow.
vegetables, or even you go buy from the bulk area.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the spices is the same concept. They had actually a 55 gram of a specific spice, and this is $1.99 coming from $2.99. And by the end of the aisle, they have $9.99, 600 gram, just a jar. Okay. So this is like the spices, like the chicken spices for barbecue, for like tandoori spices, masala, spices. These just packs. And this is a bottle which has the same name, same brand, same company, almost the same expiry date. And this is the regular price for it.
How much is it?
It's a $9.90 for 600 gram. But this is on sale, which is carton box. So which one people will buy? People will buy the $1.99. And interestingly enough, that there are individuals will not realize that will do a small quantity. So when they have party, they will buy between 6 to 8 packs. And I seen individuals will pick up the 12 pack, the whole box, because these are small packets, and they like the flavors. So if you have a party, if you're like doing a barbecue, like having 60 people in and doing all the meat, you need more than 12 packs of these. And the same thing you can achieve by buying this one.
And save money.
And save, but we always have the perception, why do I need that? So the jar is about this size of this cup. It's not a huge, like 600 grams is about the size of this cup. So do you need that much spices? You feel no.
For 10 years.
You feel it will live you for 10 years, but you are getting the same amount of spices here. That's why in many of the bulk store business, they put these big things, and people will just buy because of the promotion. They don't realize that it can be cheaper, because people will conquer better with the promotion.
So they use mindless compliance to make money.
They use mindless compliance to make money, but away from making money, you have to understand. So when somebody will come to me and say, you know what, I give it to them, it's the same price, they can afford it, why they go and buy from this 10,000 stupid crystal ball while they need my service and they didn't pay me $300? I'm not giving example of somebody. Why? Because if I go and show it's a 600, it's a 520, it's a $6 became 520. When I show it to $2.99 became $1.99. It's not $1.99 anymore. It's not $1.99 anymore. Is what? It's $2.99, and you are giving them a favor to sell it at $1.99. The story is not you give a good price. The story is how you show it's a good value for the price. Many of you did not even comply with the request that can you give it a price and discount it from this price, because you are heart-related individuals. You feel overwhelmed with the process, so you will not do it yourself. On the other side from the table from you, your buyers, the one who will buy your service, they need to feel they got what?
A deal.
Is a deal, or they get a treat by the discount. Does it make sense? Do you do this? Can you watch for this? I have been in situations with my friends in their stores, and somebody will come and buy 10 kilograms or 10 pounds of tomato in a sack at 99 cents a pound, and they will not pick up a box of $5.99 10 pound of tomato, because this was just there is no special on it, but the 99 cents tomato has a special coming from 149 to 99 cents. So they will walk in and they will buy 10 pound of these, while the bag of 10 pound over there 40% cheaper, because they don't feel they got a deal. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so those are products, okay?
It's the same for service.
But now, can you give us some examples about services? How we can apply this towards services?
It's the same. You provide the service as the price, and they give the discount right now. So your service is not 99. If the service is $80 or $70 an hour, this is what you like to sell it at you should offer it first at 129 or at 99, and then give them this discount,
The discount to wherever you wanna be.
whatever you want to be. And remember, there is a deal. There is a deal fellow here on my right. So you must give it a small slack. So when if you are happy with 70, offer it at 80, because if someone will need a deep deal, you can go up to 70. Another story can hit my mind right now. There is a friend of someone. She opens a store in Arizona to sell Indian jewelry. And what happens there is they had their season, and she had a stock of turquoise sets she could not sell. She applied all the possible tricks. She put the sets in the front. She gave a discount 10%, 20%. She gave more incentive for her sales people on the floor to get more commission if they sell these sets. They never sold. And she was going out of town for the Christmas break. So what she did is she wrote a note to her manager saying, for these turquoise sets, change the price. So this means what? So she went away, and she came back, and she could not. When she came back, she found all the sets have been sold. So they sold out from these turquoise sets, and she's not carrying it again. However, she found out that they made double revenue. They did twice the money from selling these sets. So can you justify why?
They messed up and doubled the price.
They doubled the price and then they put it at half a price.
They have twice the amount of revenue they made. They doubled the price by mistake. So instead of multiplying it to half, they have the price on the sets double what used to be offered. So why someone will buy a product at double the price that they did not want to buy before?
Perception that it's a better product?
Because exactly, in some businesses, if you are a jewelry or you are a fashion or you are whatever you do, expensive equal quality. So we sometimes downprice ourselves and underprice ourselves, and we will take from the perception of quality. So you have to be careful when you pick up a price, because sometimes if you increase the price, you have more customers will come. But this is not only one parameter, it has also to have to do with so many other things. Okay? Any questions? So
Well, this is why it's difficult to determine what the price should be.
Depends on your demographic. People who come into jewelry stores have a set price in mind that they want to spend on items. So, the guys who are, seven-figure income coming in are not going to look at anything less than a $10,000 piece of jewelry.
Agreed, but what I'm talking about is the price of a service.
Same thing, right? It's the same thing.
Depending on who you're talking to, yeah, the demographics.
I couldn't give away my service for free. I could not. I offered it just when I got started. And now I charge, higher than what most coaches charge. And I've got clients coming out of the India.
But you're attracting a certain demographics. Like there's a huge
but if you
part of the
provide value,
populace that doesn't come to you then.
but if you provide value, that you allow people to double their income and triple their income, even the one who don't have money, they will come to you because they can see this will happen.
I actually have one who can hardly afford to they've seen
Yeah.
You've seen the light.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they find the money.
So
They will
Get in
always-
debt
they-
even.
That's the point. They will always find the money. If they see value, it's not the price. You have to that transformation over there is not about how much is it going to cost me. It's how much value will I get. And what guarantees do I have to back that value?
So I have just to stop here and have to correct because we will go into a practice. So each one will practice. So I want to just there is something bugs me inside. So I want to make sure it's clear. And it's about the guilt. So if you don't like the word guilty, okay, I will not use it again. However, the concept of engagement, there are 8 different pillars for engagement, and I will share them if you come to the next, not here, but I'm giving talks on these 8 pillars. Anyway, one of them, it's function of you give free gift, they will owe you a favor now, so they have to pay you back. Okay, so when you analyze why people like to pay you back, if they are hard feelings, they love to give more than you.
Yes.
So if you give me a free course, I would like to pay you more than what you, because I'm a big heart. If they are logical people, it will come from a guilt perspective. So it's not really, don't use the guilt, use it that you do a favor and they will expect to get you another favor. Now, how many will expect? Usually is more than 5, 10, 20, 30%. So when I go around and I give free talks, I will get people to convert to buy my service because I am giving out values to them and they see the value, and then when I come with the offer, many of us will go give free talks and they forget to go to ask for the sale. Okay?
Can I
So-
offer a different perspective?
Go ahead,
on
yeah.
guilt? So I struggle with that too. The guilt part is I don't want people coming to me out of guilt or anything out of overview. I want them to come because I give them good value. But the example he cited earlier about this woman who I could have worked with her on a personal coaching level, helped her overcome some personal limitations, and she said, "I can't afford it." She goes in the same event. She goes out and buys a practitioner crystal bowl for like $6,000 US. Now, she's a Canadian. I looked at that and I said, I actually failed her. I failed her because there was no way for me to attract her and to my services, which would have helped her a lot more to make the decision that she did. But the other guy gave her all kinds of, here, play with this bowl. That's kind of like come for a free treat. Play with this bowl. And she felt obligated because he spent so much time talking to her. So I look at it this way. If I had a better treat, and if I made her feel guilty about coming and me spending time with her, it would have served her a lot more, and she would have paid a lot less money, gotten a lot more out of it. But that guilt is something that was in her nature. It's not your fault that she has that, or he has that. So it's not your fault they have that, but you attract people. A lot of times I'll go to the table booths. I know exactly what you mean. Is I'll pick up a candy and say, "Thank you so much." That's my give back to them. I've overcome my guilt. Other people who are feeling guilty will come to you, but you can actually help them more than somebody else. So if you really feel you can help these people more than somebody else, toss the bait out there. You got to put the cookie crumbs down for people to follow in the way they do. That's just my perspective on it.
Okay.
And they
So-
don't know what they don't know. They don't know what your service is because they don't talk to you. So they go, well, I don't know what I'd have to say to this person. But by creating that opening, that invitation, now you've all of a sudden go, wow, I didn't know that was available. I didn't know someone was doing that.
And you
Right.
can always tell them, I'm not the right practitioner for you. You can always tell them that.
Yeah.
And I've
So-
done that.
To summarize the 3 days, the 4 steps of these workshops, you remember your situations, your actions, your words from the stage are meaningless. They don't mean anything. If they don't drive people to receive what you wanna drive them to receive, and you overcome the barrier of the selective attention by giving them hooks, getting them to always listen to you and remove all the talks outside. Okay, giving them engagement. You also have to lead them to perceive what you say by overcoming the biased interpretation. By what is the first way to do it, or what is the top approach to do overcoming biased interpretation is what? Getting them to agree and accept. Then you look to get them to repeat, avoiding the uncontrolled surrounding. And when they repeat avoiding the uncontrolled surrounding, it means what? you get consensus from the room. You give them testimonials. You're trying to build their surrounding. So their surrounding will be a little bit controlled. And then, if they want to retain, you have to avoid they retain in a biased memory. So how you avoid them? By getting them compliance to write notes, by getting them to summarize what they memorize. Okay? And this is, on the extreme, will get feeling and thoughts. It drives their emotions and behavior, and hopefully they will take actions and drive results as what you want to do. So if you can do this, you should be able to get them through the mindless compliance. One powerful example on the consensus, and people will agree, we call it social proof. Social proof.
Social proof.
How you can achieve a social proof. So the example of a social proof before they have social internet, before was, how many of you here will go to hotels rooms and they find this small sign saying 75% of our guests will reuse their towels to save the environment? Do you see this in the hotels?
I have not seen it. No.
You did?
I've seen, leave your towels on the floor if you want to replace them.
So for the Hilton chain, what they did is they had this sign: 75% of our guests will reuse their towels to save the environment.
You staying at the campground or what?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't go to the upper
So-
levels.
So
But
what
it's already
what they
done.
found out is when they had these signs on for 6 months, a study, they learned that that 34% of their guests who stayed 4+ days, they use the same towel. Because when I show there is a social proof or there is a consent from the crowd accepting the idea, people will buy into it. So if you want to apply this on your room, you have to say, do you agree? You have to get consensus from the room. It bugs me when somebody will go and give a presentation and they will never ask a single request. Do you agree? Do you accept? How many presentations you went in and people don't ask for acceptance from the room?
It's happened.
Okay? So if you don't get this consensus, you are not persuading, you cannot get the mindless compliance. I found engagement is a very big word. People don't understand what you mean engage. So I'm reframing it now. Engage means if I engage people, I can get them mindless compliant. They comply to what I want to do without, or what I tell them to do without engaging their minds. So they don't have their thoughts and feelings. They are not engaging their emotions. They are just complying with what I want to do. Sign, they sign. Do the things, they do the thing.
I like your one of your examples you gave us on the social proof was if you have a really fancy fluorescent bag that you give away your things at, and people are walking around the trade show, and everybody's got this fluorescent bag, and they're looking for where's that from, and that's a social proof that even if it's a free giveaway, because there's a ton of people who have it, people think people are buying something from that booth.
It's always work with the red. Like if you want to have a tote bag or a bag, have it the same exact red color, because
Walk around like this.
red colors on bags, feelers will like it, ladies will like it. So you will find like the big bags which is red, they are all over. It's a very noticeable color. I don't know from the feng shui what's the rationale, but it's a very strong color and very noticeable. So people having this big bag, what will happen is you find the whole floor having it, and suddenly people will now wants to be like them. So when you want to be like them, what you will do? You will go to the booth and they pick up a bag, and then they should grab you and talk to you. And here I have to share with you one. I don't want to take away from your time, guys, but I want to share with you something here. The problem I've seen is many of the staffing individuals of trade show booths don't understand this. So they hold the giveaway, they don't want to give it out, and when somebody will give, or on the extreme, when somebody comes and say, okay, can I have one of these bags? They don't even, can I scan you, or like what you do? No, here you go, and they give it to them. because they are not trained. They don't understand why do you need to have giveaways in shows. It's not to hide them away. It's to give them out to stimulate conversation. And the more giveaways you give out, and people can see it, what will happen? It will build a social proof. So you should rather invest in bags than memory sticks, than things which can be hidden in people pockets. Where you will find the memory sticks people have, like the 4 gig and the memory sums. Where do you find these giveaways more? In engineering conferences. You don't find the big bags, the green bags and the red bags in the engineering conferences, because all of them are logical. But if you are doing work with feelers, consider having big bags, green, red, and see in the trade show how many will come and pick it up. Sometimes they give you free samples of oil, essential oils, which you put in your pocket. Anybody will see it. Okay, so you have to balance between the social proof and the beneficial giveaway. And I can tell you, like when I travel away for shows, I like to pick up giveaways. I love it. It's just enjoyable for me. Like one of my hobbies.
You pick up what?
Every single giveaway in the show. You know?
Oh, you're one of those, are you?
Okay. And I go and I use this to talk and understand the whole market. Like I can go just to one of these international shows in Vegas, and I can basically come back with my customers. I say, here is the whole market. Here is all players, because I have my own questions. I go ask my 6 questions every booth. So what will happen here is you will find so many people will go and rush and get more and more and more of these gifts, and you don't need to go to the show floor to get the gift. All what you need to do is walk by their hotel rooms after they leave, because you will find all the cleaners are putting out. Yeah. So I was in a show one time driving, and the speaker were giving a decent book, big size book, and I was driving. I had enough space in my car, and this book sells for about couple of $100 or $97 on the internet, and I had the book. Very nice book on leadership, and then by the time I was walking by my hallway from the room to check out from the hotel, I found 6 or 7 books on the floor because the cleaners are throwing them out. So I asked the cleaners, like, can I take this one? They say, yeah, this will go to the garbage. Just one. So I picked 6 or 7. I went to the up floor. I picked up more. I picked, I believe, about 16 or 17 books. And I built 16 new friends when I came to Calgary, because I was giving these books as a giveaway, as a gift for others. Somebody told me when I said the story, why did not sell them on eBay for $50? I said I didn't think about making money. I just started giving out. So when I came out from this show, because I was driving, I had enough space in my car, I gave everybody books from this author. And then this author in particular called me one time. He said, it's very generous from you to just buy my books and give it away to your friend, because I had 2 phone calls. They like to get my business. I said, yeah, next time you get my commission. He never knew that I did not even buy anything. I was actually looking for myself. So these are some concepts. It may be overwhelming for you guys. However, you should be able to consider some of these aspects.
Oh, that's great.
You know, civilization will advance when we meet situations and we just do it uncautiously. So if you know this information, you can act on it uncautiously in your life. You will advance your career. Okay? Any questions? Last thoughts?
So in my situation with the client that walked out, I wasn't willing to compromise on my price, because then I would have devalued my offerings.
So you should figure out what other material to increase on the top, or where I believe the gap will be is you did not show the difference between an offer and the $400 more offer.
Oh, I did. I did that. I did that. They were stuck on price. They were stuck on price. Out of all the value that was there, they just the wife was no.
So they were looking for somebody who would give them those values for their price.
For their price, yeah. So I let them go and
Why
take
did
a
they
look.
leave their previous accountant? That would be a question I would ask, and that you could, if you already know that, then you know what their pain points are. Then you can actually direct at those pain points and show the value at the pain point. Sometimes they say price,
Yeah.
but it's really, in their mind, they don't know why it is, it's just their first initial reaction. But if you understand why they left the other person and their pain points, boom.
Their son highly recommended me because I've shown great
So
results
did
for
you
him.
follow up with them? Did you tell them like when can you call you back to discuss any other?
I'm gonna call him back on Monday.
Because okay, do you want to talk about this more, or you want to come to practice here? You want to talk about this one? Okay.
Okay.
So let's analyze this situation. Okay. So the situation here. The situation here is you have two individuals from two different characteristics. That's right. Or two partners. So if I look at what they value, their value most likely are different. Okay. So this will create one interesting barrier. Because I have to be able to talk to, I will pick up one, most likely will be heart here, and this one most likely will be brain here. It doesn't matter who, just do different, okay? So if I want to talk to these individuals, again, it's these individuals, I have to use different language. So to engage both of them into discussions, I must be able to get them to buy into. So you must bounce the same communication between the feelers and the thinkers. Then I will give them an offer. I don't accept it's too expensive till the rejection will be repeated 3 times. So if they say it's too expensive, I can make one of two decisions. Or they want to walk away, it's too expensive. I can make one of two decisions. Do I have time to talk to them more? I would say, so let me present you again or summarize the benefit which justify the extra money. So I have to acknowledge that there is an extra money. So I agree with you. This is compared to what you used to pay.
Yeah.
It's $400 more.
Yep.
I can diminish it right away, and I believe you can do this. And Michaela and Mariana cannot do it, and even Cami cannot do it. But you can do this. You say, so is it $2,000 and the difference is $400? Or how much was the base?
Sure, it has to be those figures.
Okay. So I know for you, you can say this right away. This is 20% more. So now I'm diminishing the value from 400 to 20% more. These three ladies cannot do this because they don't do math with their heads. They need calculators, okay? Nothing wrong with you guys, okay?
Totally wrong.
So one way to take them away from the 400, one way to take it away from the 400 is to make it 20%. Because this is 20, it's 20 points. You know, don't even say 20%, it's 20 points. So it's 400, no, it's 20 points. So, and then you should go back and say, if you pay this 20%, this 20 point more, what you are saving, what you are gaining by this service. So this will be the way, one of the ways. And if they want to say no, it's really expensive, this is the second objection, because the first objection is too expensive. And we cannot afford it. Well, I agree with you. It looks like you may not afford it, but let's work together on the numbers, and you should be able to show them how they can afford this by gaining these values. If they say no, really we don't afford it, this is the third level, and you should stop pushing after that. Yes.
Okay, I have two questions. One for you, one for you. For you, would it be okay to ask, okay, if you don't want that, if that is too high, 2,400 is too high, what is not too high? What are you willing to pay? What do you think is
Most likely they are willing, because this is the shift.
Hold,
This
but
is
hold on. Is it okay? What I'm asking you, is it okay to ask them, okay, well, what are you willing to pay? Is it okay? Yes or no? Is it okay? Is it an acceptable question? Okay, so you are telling me I'm charging you $2,400, and you are telling me no, it's too high. Can I ask you, okay, well, what are you willing to pay? And
You
for
cannot
did
ask
you
it.
Ask that.
You cannot ask it before you justify your 400. This will be the last resource,
So you
because
have
they
to
already
put-
paying.
no.
They already in this example paying $2,000 to somebody, because this is an annual service they get.
So he has to justify as to, or I would have to justify, right, as to what the $400
Will do you.
will give you more.
Will give you. And if they say no, we need to think about it. Let's just see what other boxes you can say. Yeah, you can have the time to think about it. However, let me just check with you now if there is unchecked boxes or other questions you have, and you keep invoking the dialogue again from a different angle.
'Cause when
I use this technique against people who are busy,
Yeah.
and I found out at the end of the game what they will do. They will sign up because their time now is more money than the $400.
Yeah, but then when I asked that question, they were willing to pay 23.
It differs from different situations. It differs from different businesses. I know your business. I know his business. So it differs from different businesses. What I'm explaining here is you must speak about the benefits in this people language.
Yeah.
And the problem you see all the time when you have two partners, they are different profiles.
Yeah.
So you have to tell them, I think this is actually a good. He did not good job, and I feel he did not do it because blah 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 blah. So when I say yeah, I understand, I think that the former server, the former service provider did not do a good job, and I feel he did not do it because he was busy. Or you say, I feel the former service provider did not do a good job because I think he was busy. So you have to evoke both languages. This is one of the difficulties when you have people together.
Feeling, yeah.
This is one of the difficulties when you have these people. The second, if the one which is caring more about the money, most likely she needs a better deal. She needs to have. So sometimes if you have a book or you have something, you know what? Let me tell you, it's $2,400 and I'll give you my book extra.
Shit, I didn't do that.
These techniques work.
My book's worth $500.
I do know someone who owns car. He fixes cars and he owns a car dealers. He owns an oil exchange and he sells cars and doing all these things. He will do that. You will go to buy a car from him. You will pay like $300 to $500 more on a used car, really used car, and he will give you the free carpets inside the car. He will tell you, oh, you come for 2 oil change free, and the total value of what he gives you is less than 20% of the incremental. However, people will appreciate because he got this as a really low cost, so people will appreciate his service. So if you can read this behavior, you'll be able to evoke this language. And I'm saying evoke, not practice, because this is not our language. We are always one of this quadrant dominant. So evoke it means you bring it. It's not a common word, so you always remember. You have to evoke the language.
So one thing about asking, what are you willing to pay? It's not, for an accounting firm or a legal firm or an engineering firm, it's not appropriate to ask that. Because if you ask that, you sound like
Desperate.
not only desperate, but your pricing is different for different customers. Because if you say, well, you know what, okay, well, we'll give you a lower price, we'll give you $1,800, we'll undercut the other person. Now you're thinking, how much money did I leave on the table? Maybe they could have had more, all of those things. And so, you know, for an accounting firm or professional firms like that, it's probably not an appropriate question to ask. I'm thinking.
Right.
But I will sort of use a version of that. I'll say, this is my price. Let's say it is $2,400.
Yeah, like
when you walk in here, what was your expectation?
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go. Not
So-
necessarily.
And now I frame it. This is where I am. What were you expecting when you came in?
What were you expecting?
Right? And then now I can see where they
You
are.
might have gotten them if you had 3 price levels.
But one more thing, if you want to say if you want to use this language, which is expensive compared to what justify why I should sell you less. What's your expectation? This is a category, or this is the framework of this trail of thoughts and feelings. Okay, you must have in your office authorities on the wall. You must create certificates and appreciations and take them out of the folders and put them on the wall. So when people comes, they see the authority. So this will help you in the persuasion. I'm not sure if you have this or not. You must consider having on the wall authoritative, and if you even don't have any certificates,
I agree.
connect with me. I will create a certificate for you from WinYourBrand saying you are a good person, and you can put it there. People will not read it.
Hockey coach.
I had a self-awareness. It was kind of, I looked at it and it was kind of silly. And I actually put it up. It was self-awareness thing, like a certification or something like that. And I actually put it up. I could not believe the people commenting on that. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I didn't even, I'm thinking it, right? Of course I didn't tell it to them. Yet I'm thinking it and I'm like, okay, I have the trainer because I completed a course. So every single certification, take a photocopy and put it on a nice frame and put it up. I think that, 24 years of excellence or whatever, get Wael to do something. How many years have you been in business?
Like
50
one of
years
the
of excellence.
customer choice, the consumer choice and the customer choice. I do know a place which went out of business, and I predicted to go out of business. It went actually longer than what I predicted to shut down, because this lady who starts the business, was the #1 business in Calgary for kids, is a venue, is a destination for kids from 0 to 6 years old. And the lady which used to run it, she used to take every year an award from the Children magazine or something like that, like a safest place in Calgary.
Yeah.
And the way to get this award was very straightforward. You go to the Children magazine and you pay them $300 or $400 for an advertisement. They get into the annual event, they give you a certificate. It was very standard. Everybody having a thing, they have a certificate, wherever it is. So the engineer with a PhD in mechanical engineering, I don't want to reveal more about him, and his surrounding of engineers, they look at this and said, this is so silly. Like, why do you pay somebody $300, $200 to have a certificate at the end of the year? So you will walk at the store, you will see it's a best children destination or best whatever it is for 12 years. And then the last one was 2012, and then there is a void of 3 years. This business went down 90% of the income. 90%. And they shut down at the end. One factor is he did not keep himself, because he found it's very silly. Like, I go pay her $200, I get a frame. This frame makes new customers feeling there's a good potential here, right? Because you are basically playing with their uncontrolled surroundings. Now, what will happen for the current customers and the old customer when they expect in their subconscious mind a new thing will come here, and it did not come, and the owners have been changed. What will go in their mind?
This business is not working.
Things are going down. Service is going down.
Especially when it comes to kids.
And this was why one of the few reasons, which is why Coffee and Scream is out of business.
Who?
Coffee and Scream.
Coffee and Scream.
Coffee and Scream is one of the flagship places in Calgary. Used to be.
Coffee and Scream?
Yeah, it's called Coffee and Scream. It's in North Mount Drive.
Yeah, that was it's a kind of kids play area.
Kids play place? With
Yeah.
a
Parents
ball
can
ball
have
pit and
coffee
that?
and ice cream.
Ball
and
pit and stuff?
yeah.
They used to sell about $40,000 a month of ice cream in 6 months of the year, just of ice cream. Like the guy came to say, like, can you imagine that I have to come up with $40,000 to buy stock of ice cream to sell it? I said, why? And the revenues on ice creams are about 80. They made 80%. The cost of ice cream is 20%.
Wow.
So they pay the supplier $40,000, and they sell them at close to $300,000 or more a month. And it went out of business for 3 factors. One of them was they could not have the perception it's a safe place. This is one of them. There are 3 or 4 reasons for them to go out of business, in my opinion. One of them was City of Calgary, because they have to they did the road in 6 months, so it was very hard to reach the place, the complete entrance. This was one factor. This is the second factor, and the third factor is they changed the staff from a blondie female to male, and this actually will create a resistance, because they decided to hire their brothers and themselves instead of hiring the right storefront. This is my and we are not racist, we are not biased, but you understand. So this was the third reason for them too.
So women would like to go to a place where there's other women serving instead of guys.
Yes.
If they have kids.
Yes.
Sure.
And you don't mind having 1 or 2 guys in the back,
No.
but you want to have in the storefront a woman. And they could not understand this. Okay? So even when I walked there, I said, you know what? You could actually get the people. You'll make enough money to pay your brothers while sitting at home, because you'll make enough profit. All what you made is the whole ship was sinking, and it could not be fixed. Like it was like when I came in, it was like too late. But these are some examples when you have. So in summary, there is a selective attention, biased interpretation, uncontrolled surrounding, and the biased memory you need to overcome. And I believe we shared enough tools about it. Any final thoughts or any more questions or discussions? Are you sure? Okay, so we can stop this particular part, and I didn't mean to take more time from you. And then we can switch to the other part, which is everybody will practice their sequence.
Copyright
Okay?
2017 WinYourBrand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by WinYourBrand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless WinYourBrand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.